everyone, welcome to Jack and Cat Adventures. Today we're going to make salmon loaf for Lent. So let's get started. I'm going to put a cup of milk in a pan, and you want this milk to be scalded, not boiled. So I'm going to watch that, and once it starts heating up, we're going to put a cup of breadcrumbs in. I'll show you that. So in the meantime, I have a large can of salmon here, and what I did, it's pink salmon. I find that better tasting. And what I did here was I drained the salmon really well. Keep the juice. Do not throw the juice away. We need that farther in the recipe. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a small onion to the salmon. I want to keep an eye on this because I really don't want it to boil. What you need to do is you need to take some butter and a paper towel, and you're going to butter the inside of your dish. Now this is just like a Corningware dish. Okay, so we're just buttering our pan. Once your milk comes to a simmer, take it off the heat, pour in your 1 cup of breadcrumbs. You want them soaked. That makes them really soft, and they'll mix into your fish really well. So just stir that around a little bit, let them sit for a few minutes, because you don't want to put this hot mixture in with the room temperature stuff. So we're just going to let that cool for a few seconds. And in the meantime, I'm still buttering this dish. Like I said, you want it buttered really well because we are actually going to coat it in breadcrumbs too. And you need the butter on here to have the breadcrumbs stick. Alright, so you're going to pour your breadcrumbs in your pan, and I just kind of flop it around. Actually, you might want to do it over the sink. That way I can be messy with it. And all you do is turn your bowl and make sure you got it all on the bottom and everything. I need a little bit more butter. Okay, and then just empty out the rest. Alright, and here you go. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add lemon. And if you keep your lemons in the refrigerator like I do, I heat them up for about 30 to 35 seconds in the microwave, and then I roll them back and forth, and that gets them really juicy. Okay. Now, don't put your your lemons back in the refrigerator because you need it for the end of the recipe also. And I just kind of do all this while I'm waiting for the fish to get done, because then you don't have to wash dishes and dirty them again. So you need 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, and that's going in your fish. Okay, keep the rest of your juice, you need it. Now you need to separate 2 eggs. And you do not want to get any of your yolk in there. You're going to pour your yolks in your fish and your whites in a mixing bowl. This is going to, we're going to beat the egg whites until they're stiff and fluffy. That's going to give our fish a really, really light texture. Okay, so here we go with that. Number 2. Okay. Alright, now let's see how our... Okay, so now that all of our breadcrumbs are coated in the milk, as you can see. We're going to put that right into our bowl. Make sure you get it all out. Okay. Now, you're just going to mix it in. And just make sure you mix it really well, because those breadcrumbs are now like in a big clump. You need it throughout your meat. So if it takes a little time, just work with it. It'll work in. Okay. Now I'm going to start my egg whites back here to get stiff. Alright, so now that my egg whites are stiff, I'm going to put them into my mixture here, and you're just going to fold them in. And how you fold in is you go from bottom and just turn over the top gently and just keep folding it in. If you stir it really tough, the egg whites will deflate and you will not have a very light and airy salmon loaf. The whole secret to getting this light is these egg whites have to be very stiff. Okay. Alright. And like I said, this is great during Lent because it's so easy just to throw in the oven right when you get home from work. It takes no time to make, really. Alright, and make sure you go down and into the middle because you want all that light and airiness to go through your whole loaf. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now we're going to put it in our prepared dish. Okay, now just push it in so it's nice and even. Like I always tell you, it has to be even or it won't cook even. Alrighty. Now this is going to go into a 350-degree oven for about an hour. I would check it after about 40 minutes and we'll see how it is from there. Alright, so now we're going to make the sauce for our salmon loaf. I have 2 tablespoons of butter in this pan and I'm going to heat it up. Now watch this because you don't want it to burn. So we're going to heat this up. And you want this butter to melt. And then we're going to add our flour in, and we want that to get kind of thick, and we want the butter melted so that way we can get it all melted into the flour. Okay. So now our butter's starting to sizzle. We might want to turn down this a little bit. Now we're going to add our flour in. And that's 2 tablespoons of flour, and just, you know, whisk it in. Okay, kind of, I would let the flour mixture cook for at least a minute, because sometimes if you don't let your flour cook into your butter, your sauce will be like eating flour. You want it to really be mixed in together. So about a minute or two, getting that flour taste out. Okay, so now we're going to add our milk. And that's 1.5 cups of milk. And you just want to bring it to a simmer. You do not want to boil it. So keep a really good eye on it. And keep stirring it in here because we don't want lumps from that flour mixture. We want everything to get really smooth in here. So while that's heating up, I need a 1/2 cup of the fish liquid. And that should be pretty close to a 1/2 cup. Yep, about just a little bit less. I just got a little bit of water. There you go, that's all we needed. Okay. Let's see how this is coming along. Now this sauce isn't going to be thick like a gravy. It is like a fish sauce, runny, buttery, really delicious. And if you don't like, if you don't think you like this, just cut it out of the recipe. You don't need it. I just find that it's really good. And I do serve mashed potatoes and peas with this meal, and it's excellent. The gravy on all of it is really good. Alright, so my milk and my flour and butter are all done. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of this hot mixture to my egg mixture so that scramble when you put them in a hot mixture. So what you're going to do is you want to go really slowly, and while you're pouring, you're going to want to be mixing. Just keep it mixing. What this is called tempering your eggs. What we're doing is we're getting them up to a temperature where when we put them in this hot mixture, they won't curdle. It'll just mix in real well. Just keep adding some to it. You just want to get it to where it's up to temp. Okay, that should be good. Alright, so now all we do is we add our egg into our mixture. Now don't worry because this mixture's hot. This egg's cooking in this mixture. And we're going to need 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. And our salmon, the juice that came off our salmon. Just mix that all together and you're done. Alright, so this is done. I checked it at 40 minutes. It did take 40 minutes. You just want it kind of browned on the top, and when you touch it, it'll just kind of spring back to you. That's to let you know that it is done. So right now it's ready to serve. So here's our finished plate. I put some of the sauce on the mashed potatoes and some on the salmon, and I just plated it with some green peas. If you try this recipe, please let me know in the comments. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and remember, you do you.